Hey friends, my name is Aaronica Cole. Welcome back to my channel. If you're like, girl, where are you? Listen, my office is a mess. I've been preparing for a quilt along that I'm doing, and I just didn't clean up last week. So I was like, I have all these other rooms in my house, so we're just recording in someplace else. But let's get into today's topic, which is size inclusive patterns that are released by indie designers, perfect for spring things. Now, if you remember, I've already done the spring drop for like the big 5 patterns, which was fantastic, but also there was a lot to be left. The first thing that I want to go over are what the predictors of spring trends are going to be. Now, if y'all know me, you already know that I'm not someone, I don't want to say I don't subscribe to trends, right? But I'm not going to let the trends define what I wear. Now, I will say that I have taken a look at this year's or this season's trends, and I was pleasantly surprised. I've got my handy dandy iPad here that will be guiding me because I did research, I took notes, and I'm ready to come with the hot fire for you all. Now, I also know that many of us are not really into trends, and I get that. But what I want to do is just kind of highlight some of the trends just in case they do actually align with your aesthetic. And it'll probably be helpful because these are the types of fabrics and patterns that will likely be dropping. Unless, of course, you're a vintage baddie and you're just like, I'm shopping at Stephanie's shop anyway, so it doesn't matter. But with that, let's go ahead and get started with the predictors for what spring 2024 fashion trends are supposedly bringing us, okay? First up is Fringe. Now, I want to say that Julian was already onto something when he was working on his like Western wear. He came out with a little fringe or a little Western wear situation, and I love that. Fringe for me has never been a thing. I don't think it's going to be a thing for me either. Why? Because I feel like it's just like hair that I've got to keep combed. And I already have enough hair on my head as well as my children's head, so I don't really want anything else. But Fringe is in. I love it for the people who love it. Next up is the color burgundy. Not gonna lie, that's not where I thought we were going with this, but I love it. I love burgundy. In fact, I tend to actually buy and make my husband a lot of burgundy. So it's something that is on trend in our household already. Like he's got the cutest little, and I say cute very loosely because he wears a size 13, but he's got the cutest little burgundy Nike blazers that are like a leather. Fantastic. So happy that he's on trend. Either way, he looks good to me, you know. So then girl core is what they're calling it. And I'm like, girl core, that's kind of weird, but whatever. It is basically the super traditionally girly style. So we're talking about like ruffles, rosettes, like laces, all of that. Like the tulle, very much so. All of that is in. And dare I say, I might be in for that. Why? Because I definitely am in my girly era. So I love that. I grew up as a tomboy and wearing my dad and my brother's clothes. Now I'm fully embracing this like girly girl situation that I'm in. So I love that for us. Next up is athletic prep. And dare I say that your girl was on point with this when I designed the Presley skirt, which we'll get into a little bit later. Next up, of course, is animal prints. But also, have animal prints ever gone out? I don't know if it's the older Black woman in me, but I feel like animal prints are always in. Whatever. Debate about it in the comments. I'm here for it. Next up is the color sky blue. Now, Patterns for Pirates has they've got a fabric of the month, and one of the fabrics of the month was this beautiful sky blue, like sweater knit, which I'm absolutely going to turn into a vest because it's going to be perfect to pair with one of my Presleys. And it's going to be giving athletic prep. I love this sky blue. Blue is actually my favorite color, but I don't ever wear it. We're going to change that up. This is a trend that I can get on board with. And next up, we've got Disco Inferno. So we're giving like, of course, the flare silhouette. And if you are a sequin babe, if you were like, please give me all of the sequins, I love it. It's your time to shine. It is. It's your time to shine. We're giving sequins. We're giving sparkles. We're giving all of that. Come out and be dramatic with it. It's what the people want. Stripes. Okay, so listen, I love a good stripe, But I'm not gonna lie, I don't love to sew with stripes. Why? Because I don't like for my stripes to be mismatched. And I don't feel like having to deal with like stripe matching. Sometimes I will, and you will see that from me. But, and maybe because I need to work with more vertical stripes versus horizontal stripes, but like, whatever, stripes are in. These these bold stripes, they're predicting them to be in. Next up is probably my favorite, and it's sheer layering. Now, if you caught my television debut, then you already saw that I was wearing a sheer bodysuit. It was a sheer black bodysuit that I had on top of a bright Kelly green bra. I love a sheer situation. Please give me all of the sheer. I love it. In fact, for Atlanta Frocktails that is coming up, we've got Atlanta Frocktails coming up May 24th. And no matter what pattern or no matter what silhouette I decide to wear, I'm wearing sheer tulle that's going to be embroidered with something floral, preferably. But it's going to be sheer because I love sheer things. So that's where we are. The final mention is going to be 80s core. And I think that we've already seen this. Like, I feel like the 80s have been making a comeback for quite some time. 80s was a fantastic decade, obvi, because that's the decade I was born in. So fully subscribe to that as well. So let me know which of these trends you could actually see yourself going into, or like possibly making part of your everyday wear, or just dressing up as. Now, I know that a lot of people have talked about like the new indie pattern releases or indie patterns for spring. I'm focusing on size inclusive pattern releases. So if you're like, hey girl, why wasn't like my pattern included? It's because it really wasn't size inclusive, meaning that if it didn't fit a size like 50-inch bust, bare minimum, babe, not size inclusive. Like just throwing some X's on some sizes does not mean that you're size inclusive. We're looking at inches here, right? Size matters, no matter how you put it, okay? So for me, size inclusive means that you're starting very small. So like we're talking like extra, extra small for my tiny babes. And then you're getting up there with the size. I don't care if that shit says 6X, but if it's a 6X and you're talking about a 50-inch hip, you have work to do. We're going to leave it at that, okay? So anyway, so let's get into some size inclusive pattern drops of the season. We're going to be kicking it off with the Patterns for Pirates Christy set. She's giving us the 80s core, the 70s core that we need, right? She brought back Three's Company, Christy's style with this, and I'm here for it. Why? Because she has a couple of different inseam lengths, and we can give as much booty, as much thigh as we want to, and I love that. I love it for us. It's giving retro in all of the right ways. She also just released the Janet jeans, which are also so good. I made them. I never photographed them. I just keep wearing them and never taking pictures in them. But I did them in a cheetah print because your girl's always going to be an animal print, okay? And they are fantastic. They have a fitted around like the midsection and booty, and then they definitely have a wide leg situation. I love the options for the pockets. It's truly great. Next up, we have the only like gender neutral or men's patterns on this list. Pattern designers, we got to do better. And I say we because I too am a pattern designer. But we've got from Friday Patterns, they released the Day Trip collection. That's what they're calling it. And it's a collection that has 3 pieces in it. They've got the Beachcomber Jacket, which I love. They've got the Rambler Pants also, which I love. And I love how the Rambler Pants can really give you a different feel depending upon the fabric choice. Fabric choice is going to be huge here, right? So it is unisex or gender neutral. So I can totally see me making these Rambler Pants in possibly that sheer embroidered tulle. Just saying, putting it out there, right? And then, of course, they also released a raglan as well. I love this for them. I love the inclusivity because when we talk about inclusivity, normally we're talking about black and white, male or female, fat or not. And they have truly embraced inclusivity with this collection. So shout out to you, Chelsea, who owns Friday Pattern Company. I see you, girl. I celebrate what you're doing. Next up, of course, is Made for Mermaids, the Presley skirt, designed by yours truly. I would be remiss if this was not on the list. Why? Because athletic prep core. It's giving that. It is a skirt situation. So you can choose to have shorts underneath it or not. It comes in a micro mini, as well as like above the knee lengths. Okay. We also did add in a slight full booty adjustment for the back because one time for my big booty girlies. Okay. So we're not trying to give these like free shows, and that's why the shorts are there. And we're giving a little bit more fabric back there. We also had the Danica top release for Made for Mermaids, and that was designed by my girl Michelle. And it's giving open back goodness. It's giving, am I a ballerina? Am I a sports person? But it's giving athletic prep core all the way. Next up, we've got from Petite Stitchery, which is owned by my girl Ashley Riley. Ashley does a fantastic job with designing for this group. She also has another good friend of mine who is a designer there. Shout out to the designers. We've got, and they are like dropping hot fire. Seriously. All of their releases have been fire. Their most recent release is the Delcy dress, which is giving. So it comes in separates, it comes in a dress, but it's giving a pencil skirt with like a little ruching situation. They also did the linen dress, which has a lot of good days. Like if that is your style, I love that for you. For me, it's just too much. But I tell you what, Kamali, and I'm putting a picture of her right here, she almost sold me on this dress. She almost got my money. Why? Because again, sewing good days is not my thing. I don't particularly love them. But this picture of her, I was like, I mean, if I look like that in it, I mean, your girl might be able to be in them. And then lastly, they also had the Estelle bodysuit. I actually have a paper cut patterns that's very similar to the Estelle bodysuit, which is the only reason why I don't have it. But it's so cute. I love it. It has a sweetheart bodice, and we all know that sweetheart is basically one of my just kind of like one of my brand and my trademark looks. Next up, we've got by Gracie Steele. She released the Shirley Sure dress. Now, if you have ever been uncomfortable with shirring, you will not be able to finish this dress and still have that level of discomfort because, baby, you are shirring a lot. A lot of shirring, okay? And you know what? I love it. I love it for you. If that's your jam, I love that for you. Now, I personally have a hate-hate relationship with shirring. I'm still going to do it, right? Because, in fact, I'm designing a pattern right now where there's going to be shirring in the back. I'm going to do it. Am I going to love it? No. Am I still doing it? Absolutely. And am. So, next up, we've got Pattern Scout. We've got the Joni blouse and dress. And this is giving peak girly, right? We've got like a little cottage corset going on here, and I love it. I love it as, for me, I love it as the blouse. The dress is a little too much for me. Although I could kind of see it like with a semi-sheer situation and maybe pairing it with like some biker shorts underneath because I love sheer. And then maybe some boots or something like that. But we'll see. Then we've got the Sew Over It Xanth skirt, which I love. It's giving like modern day like denim skirt, which I love because I bought a bunch of denim that I need to upcycle. Then we've got the Sewing Revival flow dress. Now, I had never heard of the Sewing Revival before, so I was really excited to find out about them. And I am loving this dress. It's very simple. Think of kind of like the pillowcase dresses that we used to make our daughters. Very simple in that regard. Perfect for when it starts to heat up and you're like, I don't want to wear clothes, but I have to wear clothes and I have to go outside. This is going to be it. Now, please note that you will probably need either a bandeau or a strapless bra up underneath this baby. So if you're like, girl, I don't particularly like to wear those, you can also probably style it with a t-shirt. Also, if your thighs are fighting for a place, kind of like mine do, and they tend to rub, grabs hold to some biker shorts or some chub rub and call it a day, okay? Then we've got, of course, the So Liberated Sylvan jacket. This jacket is something I love. And it's like, Aaronica, why are we talking about jackets? Because springtime, some people are still wearing jackets, okay? Climate change is a thing, which I will not get up onto my soapbox about. Just pausing right there. Climate change is a thing. So our weather right now is kind of unpredictable. So I love that So Liberated Sylvan jacket. So cute. Tilly and the Buttons, Thea trousers. So good. But I also love just the wide leg silhouette. It's very popular this season. I will say that I have seen basically every brand come out with their own version of their wide leg jeans. I want to say that last summer we saw this kind of with the button down shirts. Like literally everybody was coming out with button down shirts. This year I want to say that it's the wide leg pant, whether it's the wide leg jean or the wide leg trouser. And I'm subscribed. I'm here for it. I love it. I have no criticism about it. I think it's fantastic. Let's go ahead and get everybody into some wide leg pants, okay? Next up, we've got the Helen's Closet Nelson pants. And these are a nice lounge pant. They come in a couple of different lengths, but I am loving it. Given the right fabric, you can probably get away with making them work for a work situation or a more outside of the house situation. But I'm loving the relaxed fit. And then she also did the Slokin tank. It's giving a little sexy in the back, and I like that, right? It's got some what my oldest daughter calls pasta straps. So it's got some spaghetti strap situation. It looks good. Great job. Great job there, Helen. So next up, we've got the Itch to Stitch Delaware jacket, which I got to see in person while I was out at Sew Expo because Whitney and Jenny from Time Cat Stitchery had them on and they looked so good. I loved seeing them. They were really versatile, perfect for the spring because, of course, we know in spring sometimes things get a little chilly and we might need to warm up with a jacket. Speaking of a little chilly, the next one up on my list is the Talia dress from Ruti of Talia's Threads. And I had the honor of testing this. This is her first clothing pattern. Y'all, it's giving sexy. It comes in both the top length as well as a dress length. And babe, we're talking about back out and it is beautiful. This is something that you can do in something that has like really great recovery. So we're talking about like a good double brush polyester or a cotton lycra. You can also get away doing it with a bamboo lycra. That's what I did mine out of. But when I say sexy, yeah, I mean sexy. Keeping it moving. Now, I do know that I already did Friday patterns, but I neglected to mention the Bernadette skirt, which is so cute. It's a woven skirt and it has some pleats in it. It's giving cute. It's giving preppy. It's giving almost athletic preppy, and I love it. Then we have Tammy Handmade. She came out with the Freya flares. So cute. Very much so giving us that disco inferno that we need in our life, right? Because it's got that flare. And because it's drafted for a knit fabric, you can definitely do it with like that shiny fabric, especially if that is your aesthetic. I love that, right? If not, okay. Now this is the only bra and panty that I'm putting on here because when I saw this, first of all, I was like immediately add to cart, add everything to cart. It's amazing. So I had never heard of them before, but the new Craft House, they came out with the crop bra and Brazilian brief. Now, why is this big? I have seen the Brazilian briefs, and that is my favorite panty cut. No one is making it for big booties. No one. But they are. So shout out to y'all. Next up, so I'm not going to lie, cottagecore is not really my thing. Neither is, and I say vintage is not really my thing, but it actually kind of is. I just like a modern twist on it. So Folkwear 303 is bringing us the English Cottage kitchen set. And so it's giving us the ruffles. It's giving us like the very vintage feel, and I'm in love. It's so cute. It's very feminine. I am loving it so very much. I love it, love it, love it. Next up, we've got the Closet Core Jenna shirt, a button-down shirt, really boxy, oversized, loving it. Then we've got the Merchant and Mills Lulo top, very, very cute. And this one is new to me. In fact, I should have just hit up my friend Mandy from Handmade Mandy. She has the insider ear for all of the pattern drops and definitely gave me these last couple, including this one, which is by Sid Graham Patterns, and it's the Sid tie top and dress. These tie tops are very in, and I love them, right? Because they give like a little peekaboo. They're like modest, but not. And I love that, right? It's like surprise. Am I modest or surprised? Am I not modest? Now, I do love the top. The dress is a little much for me, but I could definitely see how this could be styled and rocked hard. And then lastly, we have the Michelle Design Co. Freya button down shirt as well. Now, I've done a pattern test for Michelle Design Company, and it was for the Ella top and dress a couple years ago, and it was fantastically drafted. I loved the way that it fit. So definitely make sure you go out and check out her style as far as what she's got. So that is all I have. I feel like that was a lot of patterns. And of course, a lot of information as regarding like trends and stuff like that. What I will say is pick out what works for you and style the hell out of it. If I have missed some of the new pattern drops that are for spring this year, please, please, please drop me a comment with them because I want to make sure that I also see them. Yes, I'm a pattern designer, but I really love to, one, support small businesses, and we know that pattern designers are small businesses. Most of the time, they are small businesses that are women owned. And shout out to March still being International Women's History Month. So I do always want to support that. And I also just love to try out new patterns. That is who I am. Unless it's, and no shade to Raglans, but unless it's like a Raglan, because I don't really wear Raglan shirts like that. So anyway, that is all that I have for you today. The last thing that I do want to make mention of is that my girl Trisha from Creative Costume Academy actually has something big coming up that I wanted to share. Why is this important, right? In fact, yesterday I was teaching a class and I was talking to them about just different types of classes that they wanted to see. One of the biggest things was how to fit patterns and clothing to your body. Well, Trisha has a class that is coming up. It is a freebie class. I'm going to put more information about that in the comment section. She's also here on YouTube. I highly suggest going out and checking out her content because she is a wealth of knowledge. Trisha has been working in the costume industry since she was like a teenager, literally a teenager. And she is truly, truly, truly fantastic. But she's got a free workshop coming up. And I want to help her get as many people signed up for it as I can. Why is this important? When people see the things that I make or the things that I wear, and the question that always comes up of, oh, can you make me that if you don't sew? Or, oh, how can I make my garments fit like that? Yes, I can help you too, but this is truly her jam, right? I know how to do the adjustments for the plus size bodies, but I've never done, a small bust adjustment, right? I can adjust for the larger bodies because that's what my body is. And I learned how to do that. But she knows how to make all those adjustments. And if you're ever like, hey, how do I get my clothes to fit better? This is going to be the freebie masterclass for you. So again, I'm putting that information out down in the in the caption section. Also make sure that you're checking the caption section because I'm going to make sure that I put all of the links and information for these patterns that I have mentioned here. And as always, please leave me kind comments because I am a person who has feelings. With that, I hope that you all are going out and making beautiful things, and I will check you all on the next video. Until then, happy sewing.